Hello and thank you for joining us for this week's MacDesk Floor Report. I'm Rebecca Darst from the Market Access Center, where every Thursday we broadcast to you directly from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange for a look at what's moving the market. Today is Thursday, January 10th, and we are looking at a 33-point gain in the Dow. That's about 5 points in the S&P on inline volumes. S&P advancers are leading decliners by 3 to 2, and most subgroups are trading higher, although we're seeing some relative underperformance in tech names today. So let's take a look at what brought us here today. Asia Pacific indices closed higher thanks to stronger than expected December trade data out of China. The trade surplus read through at $31.6 billion, where the street was looking for 19.7, while the percentage gain in the Shanghai index was actually less than we saw elsewhere in the region, which was a little weird. News of China's bumper trade surplus gave an early push to commodity prices overnight. Precious metals gained even more on a sell-off in the dollar index and an accompanying rally for the euro on comments from ECB Chairman Mario Draghi. While the ECB's decision to leave its benchmark interest rate unchanged at 0.75% was no surprise to market participants, his comments in the ensuing press conference were somewhat unexpected. Draghi said that Eurozone weakness is expected to extend well into 2013. This was a rather more downbeat assessment than the market was anticipating and seemed to open the door to further stimulative measures from the ECB. Now, gold was already trading higher on the China trade data, but Draghi's comments pushed it to a one-week high. Here in the U.S., weekly U.S. jobless claims came in a little worse than the street was looking for at 371,000 new claims. Analyst consensus was 364, although there was a spot of relief in continuing claims, which dropped from 3.2 to 3.1 million. Closing out the week, we are on the cusp of some earnings reports from major financial names. These kick off tomorrow. Action in the SPY options, those are contracts based on the price of the exchange-traded fund tied to the S&P, have been driven mostly by short-term bears today. SPY is trading a little higher at 146.40, and we've been seeing more buyers than sellers of puts in the January 11th weekly contract at strikes 145.50 and 146, as well as the regular January monthly contract. Looking ahead to next week, a heavy one on the earnings front with a number of key economic releases as well. On Monday, we are looking at November industrial production out of the Eurozone, as well as a read on the Japanese money supply. On Tuesday, we'll be looking at Japanese machine tool orders for December, as well as consumer price index data from Europe, with separate releases for Germany, the UK, and an EU-wide harmonized CPI reading all due out, along with U.S. December retail sales. On Wednesday, it's a heavy day of U.S. data releases with key reads on the housing market via the MBA mortgage applications and the National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index for December. We've also got the U.S. Consumer Price Index and industrial production and capacity utilization. Well, at 2 p.m. that day, the Fed will release its Beige Book report on economic conditions in each Fed district. Several major earnings reports have the potential to move the market that day, including J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and U.S. Bancorp. On Thursday, we've got a monthly economic report from the ECB, but otherwise, most of the major market catalysts are domestic. December U.S. housing starts and building permits, weekly initial and continuing jobless claims, and the January Philly Fed manufacturing index are all due out on Thursday. And we've got another welter of earnings reports, including BB&T, United Health, Citigroup, American Express, Capital One, Bank of America, and Intel. We'll take a breather next Friday with releases limited to Italian industrial orders, UK December retail sales, Canadian manufacturing sales, and here on these shores, the University of Michigan Consumer Confidence Survey for January. We'll be following all of the action as it unfolds here on the floor of the exchange, so be sure to check your inbox for the midday and have a great week in the meantime. For now, that's it for me, Rebecca Darst, for the MacDesk Floor Report.